Hey guys, so in this video I'll be demonstrating how to integrate the new image generator by Google called Nano Banana, which is the Gemini 2.5 image preview model. And I'll be demonstrating how to integrate it within a Lovable project. So I'll just quickly demonstrate what that looks like. And I'll give you guys a preview. So as you can see, you can use this model to generate high definition images inside your Lovable app, and we're just providing some text here that would then get fed into the Gemini model, and it then returns an image almost instantly. So I'll just give you guys an in-depth view of how this app works, how you can connect the Gemini API into Lovable to then create these images. So the first thing we'll need to use this Gemini Google model is to access this URL here, which is aistudio.google.com, and go to the API key page. I will provide this link in the description. So if you check in the description, just click the link and go directly here. You might have to create an account. And what you want to do is just click here on Create API Key, and you'll have to have an existing Google Cloud project, and then click on that project and then create an API key for that existing project. And then just copy this API key here. I will delete this API key later. So make sure you save the API key somewhere. Now, if you don't have a Google Cloud account, you'd have to create one. So if you just go to Google Cloud Console and create an account here, and then create a new project, which you just have to click up here on the left and click on New Project here, and just name your project and then click Create. So then you just come back here and create API key, and your project should show up. And then create your API key and save it somewhere, because we'll be using it later. So the next task is to create the actual UI in Lovable, the front end. So if you just go ahead and provide a very simple and basic prompt, such as create an image generation app where I provide text and an image is generated. Now, whilst you're waiting for the Lovable project to get created, you can just go into Supabase and create a new project. I already have a project, so you just need to give it a project name, a database password, which you can auto-generate, and then select the region and create your new project. And once that project is created, you just click up here in the right top corner and click Connect to Supabase. So if you just click on Connect to Project here, this is your Supabase organization, and just select the newly created Supabase project. And once you click on that project, it will then connect your Supabase to the specific Lovable project. So we can see here that the Lovable has created a UI for us, where we just have to provide some text here, and then it will use that Gemini model to create an image. And guys, don't worry if this doesn't work. I will be publishing this Lovable project for you guys to remix, and I will also provide the script for the edge function so essentially you guys can update the Supabase edge function with the one I've provided. The only thing you will have to provide is the Gemini API key, which you will need to update with your own one, because I will be deleting my API key. Now, I do want to show something, a quick trick, which essentially for the Gemini 2.5 image preview model, there's some documentation here in ai.google.dev regarding how to use this model, and there's some example scripts in Python. So what we can do is we can feed this example script into Lovable. And the reason why I'm demonstrating this to you guys is because this doesn't apply to this specific API, but it applies to all different APIs that you want to integrate with Lovable. So what you can do is you can provide an example script on how to connect with that API, given that you provide an API keys to Supabase. So you can just provide it a prompt with, for example, connect to the Gemini API So when the user clicks generate image, a Supabase edge function is triggered that is then used to call Gemini to generate an image given the text provided. Here is an example script. Okay, given that now we've provided an example script into our Lovable prompt to essentially explain to Lovable how to connect to the API and how to use it and what libraries to use. So you can see here it's using different Python libraries, which will then be used in the Supabase edge function. So we've provided this script in here in our prompt so that it knows how to connect to that API and essentially how to, what arguments to pass, what endpoint to call. And if you just click enter and go ahead, so it's highly likely that when trying to connect with this API via the Supabase edge function, that you will encounter some errors. So some of these errors just include parsing errors, or how to access the specific information or arguments, or even just formatting issues. So hence why I know a lot of the people watching these videos are not technical. So for this reason, I've decided to do all that dirty work, and essentially now I have a functioning prototype which I can share with you guys, and which you guys can remix into your own Lovable account. So what I can do is I can just publish this Lovable project, and I'll provide the Lovable URL down below in the YouTube description. So if you guys get that URL and then remix it into your own project, and then I will also provide the edge function that I use to connect to the Gemini API. Now, one essential thing is that you will need to use that Gemini API key that I said before to save. You will need to copy and paste that into edge functions here, and then you click on secrets, and then you just type in Gemini API key, and then you paste that secret that you saved before into here, and then you click save. Additionally, I will be providing the edge function that I've used to connect to the Gemini API, which is essentially this code here. So in the YouTube description, make sure you copy that edge function, and once you copy it, you can just go into your edge function that you've created and just copy and paste it into here. Once you've done that, click on deploy updates and confirm. And so with the Remix Lovable project and the edge function I provided, you should be able to use the Nano Banana image generation with Gemini model, and essentially it will just allow you to generate images with your app, your Lovable app. And we can confirm here in the edge function, as you see, it's using the Gemini 2.5 Flash image preview, which when we look at the official Google AI for Developers docs here, image generation with Gemini, aka Nano Banana, which is the newly released image generation model, which is essentially using this Gemini 2.5 Flash image preview, which corresponds to the exact model here we're using in Supabase. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you have any more questions, or if you'd like me to cover any more topics, I'm happy to do so. Again, I'll mention this one more time. The Lovable preview URL, which you guys can remix, is in the description with the Supabase edge function, and you guys will have to set this up by yourselves. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment below and subscribe to the channel.